Anyhow, we're getting it going. And it looks like those are up and running. And so today, if you look at the screen up above me over there, you will see that the workout I'm doing in the middle of the screen is called BASECAMP Active Recovery or Walk. Again, that's because this is recovery week after the overreaching week last week, and then the big climb up the Alpe du ZWIFT. And we're preparing to retest, do our FTP test again on Saturday. So today we're literally just getting the blood flowing so we can slowly work our muscles back in motion so that we can test effectively on Saturday. As I wait on ZWIFT to get ready, that's not a normal thing. Normally it pops right up. There we go. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of get going because there's not a whole lot to this ride. If you look, it's 5 minutes of warm-up, 35 minutes at 110, and then a 5-minute cool down. So there's not a whole lot of anything that goes into this workout. It's not much of a it's not a workout at all. Literally the only reason we're on the bike today, and we had the option of just walking for 45 minutes, but structure walking in the cold. I don't have my little walking treadmill, foldable walking treadmill thing set up here in the pain cave, which means that I would have to walk outside. And it's, I don't know, we're in the middle of this Arctic freeze. And so, screw that. And so, I figure, why not ride? Besides that, I literally haven't been on the bike since Sunday and taken that extra day off yesterday. While it was nice to be able to get some things done, and actually, I actually got to relax a little bit, but I found that, I don't know, it messes with me. Better to just ride. So, I did find myself thinking about 50 other things I could be doing today rather than riding. In fact, several times I tried to talk myself out of getting on the bike. Because you know how much effort it is to throw on, your cycling kit, freaking put shoes on, do all that, and then hop on the bike. I mean, that's minutes of your life that you'll never get back. But nonetheless, I did actually, on Monday, I got to go back to see my foot surgeon, and he likes the progress that my feet are making. He said that I will probably experience some pain putting on my cycling shoes, but he said because of the lack of flexibility in my toes, and then obviously the pressure of the shoes themselves, he said, but to the extent that you can get them on, he said that I could wear them. So I actually tried one of my pairs of shoes on this morning, actually, and while it took me about 15 minutes just to get the right one on, I was able to get them both on. I played with the boa tension to see kind of, everything from zero, like for them completely open, to pretty tight. I did not clip into pedals to see where the pressure points were when I'm pedaling, but I will tell you that I didn't clip in because I don't have those pedals, the speed play pedals on my bike, and I was too lazy to take them off, and I said, you know what, it's better just to ride. I wasn't going to ride in them today. I think I'm going to try tomorrow. So when I'm cleaning the bike after the ride today, even though there won't be a lot of sweat on the bike, I still wipe my bike down after every single use. Why? Well, because I'm gross. And when you're working out, even if you're not sweating a lot, you're leaving residue on the bike. And so, get it up. You can't make something too clean. And I don't know if you've seen the amount of virus and bacteria that's on the gym equipment. Well, it's really no different from a public gym where lots of people are using it and your own gym where you're using it. All that bacteria is still building up every time you use it. And then getting all over you, and you know, you're wiping your sweat off, you're wiping whatever, and everything you're touching. You're spreading that bacteria and the viruses too. So why not clean them? So while I'm cleaning it today is the perfect opportunity to unscrew these flat platform pedals and put my speed play pedals in, and see if tomorrow brings the opportunity to put real shoes on, which would be really cool. Assuming that, you know, Thursday and Friday I can do that. That means I'm going into my FTP test a little bit better equipped in terms of my positioning on the bike and my power transfer. So, I don't know. I've obviously had some time to analyze my performance from Saturday in that race up altitude ZWIFT. And I kind of totally blew it. The whole group went out a little hard, which I knew was going to happen. I kind of stuck with it in the bottom section before we actually started climbing. And then as soon as, because I wanted to just stay with the group, and then as soon as we started climbing, I kind of settled into my zones. I was a little hotter than I had planned to be in that first 1/5 of the climb. And so rather than, well, I was by the time I got the first fifth done is when I'm looking at it. And rather than making the calculation and saying, okay, well, I was supposed to be here, but I was there, so I should just continue following my plan. And honestly, what I should have done is where I started, I should have just followed my plan but increased the numbers. But I was afraid I was going to crack. And so instead, I kind of backed off a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then kind of literally just lost track of my transition points, which were all at different bends in the climb. But yeah, I lost it. I didn't increase my power at the appropriate points. There was, I kind of, you know, kept it fairly steady, but then there were 2 points in the ride where I was like, oh, I've still got, you know, I'm looking at the little map that's up in the far right-hand corner of the screen over there. When you're doing an event, it actually shows you the map of where you are differently than this. And it kind of shows like a wider view of the bends and the curves in the road. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I've got further to go than I thought. Part of it was I hadn't ridden the ZWIFT this season. And so I literally, I thought that the climb was 20 miles. But it's really the climb and the descent that are 20 miles. Because the climb is only, I don't know, a little bit less than 11 miles. Or maybe a little more, I don't know. About 11 miles is the climb, not 20 miles. And so, that affected my planning. It affected my execution. But also, I just let my head get the better of me. That when I didn't start the way I had planned because of the pace of the group, I didn't achieve my goal. However, last year in base camp, we actually climbed the ZWIFT multiple times on our Tuesday and Thursday group rides leading up to the challenge. I don't know if the coaches were just trying to get the grasp of it, try to get a handle of it or whatever. But the problem with that is that when you do a group ride and they've got it set up so that everybody's, rubber banded together in the game, so that the people that are riding 30 miles an hour are ahead of the people that are riding 22 miles an hour, but we're all in the same general area, right? Like we're literally all together. So what Zwift does in the game is they kind of do an average speed of the group to keep the group together. So unless you stop pedaling, you're kind of in that group, right? But you're in that average speed zone. So we did the Alp in several of these rubber banded groups, and therefore my PR is in that group, but it has nothing to do with my actual speed. And I honestly, so I got a few PRs on segments up the climb, but overall it was, and most of them were my second best to this date in December. I don't know exactly what day it was, which was one of the group rides, definitely not the event last year. So what I'm thinking is that I probably had my personal best as opposed to a group ride best. That's one of the things that actually bothers me in Strava. And I think specifically on Strava, they could figure this out. They could even figure it out on Zwift. But when you get PRs on Strava, and when they're comparing you to everybody else's PR, right? There are things they can't necessarily account for, like the weather, the wind, right? You could have a day where the wind's at your back, blowing 35, and you just freaking nail a segment when you're riding on your own. And I don't know that they can necessarily account for that. But they do know, because of their data set, most of the time, if everybody's on Strava, they do know when you're riding by yourself versus in a pack. And so they should separate that out. Like have your PRs for group rides when you're riding with, more than, 2 other people. And your PRs for when you're riding alone. Because like here in Cleveland, well, down in Miami, I'm almost always with a group, right? So none of those PRs really count because, yeah, I'm drafting most of the time. But like here in Cleveland, when I do the Wednesday night spin ride, we're going fast, we're going hard, but we're riding a double pace line. And so our average pace and our pace on any segment is naturally going to be faster because we're doing a proper double pace line. And so when I'm riding down there alone, which is most of the time, I can't come close. Well, I come close, but I don't beat my PRs. Even on days where I feel awesome and I'm like, man, that was an effort. And I go and I look and it's like, oh, you're second best or you're third best, whatever. And I just have to look at it and say, well, yeah, but that was the difference of riding in a group and pulling for 10 seconds at a time versus pulling the entire time when you're by yourself, when you have no drafting assistance whatsoever. So it's a big deal. It would be a great thing if Strava, since they have the data, if they could at least make some assumptions based on that and put an asterisk by the ones where you're in a group or completely separate them out. Because again, they know. But even with that, there are some bastards who would figure out a way to cheat the system. Hey, you guys, don't load this onto ZWIFT so that I can get the KOM. I'll be the only one who loads it, so that way it looks like I rode alone. You know there's people that do that. The same guys that get in their car and drive a segment because they got beat and they can't beat it on their own. And their egos are, oh, I've got to have the KOM. That's my KOM. And so they go cheat and do it. And the funny thing is, because a lot of those guys, they don't train with power or even a heart rate monitor anyhow. And so when you see that their average ride is, 20, 21 miles an hour, and then they reclaim their KOM with like a 32 mile an hour on a 3 mile segment. But there's no power or heart rate data. ZWIFT doesn't kick it off. But you just know it's not consistent with where they're at in a fitness or performance standpoint. So it's a load of crap. So there will always be people that will figure out how to beat the system. Even for stupid reasons like Strava. That doesn't mean shit. But I guess some people's lives are that meaningless that they need that. So whatever. The markets are looking better today. I tried to turn on music, but it didn't start playing. There we go. All right, so we got 22 minutes left at 110 watts. Again, the intention of today's ride is not to create any strain whatsoever at 110 watts, right? You're like out for a pleasure ride. But we are waking our systems up again. And basically a gentle nudge to say, hey, remember, this is what we're doing, this is what we're training. And so, today's easy. I haven't actually looked at tomorrow's workout. It's gonna probably be I don't know if it, I don't know, it's probably going to be like an endurance pace. So a little more, not really strain, but just a little more effort, and probably longer, probably an hour and a half instead of 45 minutes. And then Friday, I'm assuming, will be another shorter ride, 45 minutes or an hour, but at higher intensity, basically just to force everything into like a final oh yeah mode. And then Saturday is the test. Now, I'm not exactly sure what to do about the test. I've been thinking about this. The test we have, I don't know, our typical 5-minute warm-up, and then, you know, the soft pedal thing, or the fast pedal things, and then, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think, of endurance work before you do a 5-minute VO2 max. Again, they want to drain your ATP so that you're not using that during the test. And then, like, I don't remember what, the 10 or 15 minutes of endurance work before going into the FTP test. Well, I know, especially after taking some time off, I know my body, I'm going to talk to Amber about this. I know my body craves. My body takes a little bit longer to warm up. It typically takes me about an hour to kind of get into the groove where, you know, my muscles stop aching, my legs stop barking at me, my lungs stop feeling like they're dry and unlubricated, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I'm just riding. And so with our typical process, I'm not into that 45 or 50 minutes to an hour-ish time before I start my 20-minute test. So I don't know, I may do like a half an hour at a recovery pace, and then maybe like a half hour at an endurance pace on a course like this before I actually start the FTP test. And I could probably do it because we don't load. Oh no, they had us load a workout last time. I don't know. But in the past, they didn't have us load the workout. They just had us do it. So, I think I could ride for about an hour and then stop, get off the bike, go up to that computer, push the buttons to load the workout, and then go. So it's still, I think, all on one ride. But the problem there is, well, I can change my gearing, so I'll have more than enough power. I've still got the gearing setup I used for Saturday's race, which was, if I remember correctly, 52:30, or maybe 52:30 up front. 52:32, I think, is what it was. And then at 11:33 in the back. And that's one of the benefits of the Wahoo Kicker bike, is that you literally can simulate any range of gearing regardless of its practicality or whether or not you can get it to work with a chain, you can set it up on the bike, on the trainer, and try it. You can see, you know, what is it like if I have a smaller chain ring or a bigger chain ring on, or you know, what is this cassette ratio like? You know, I don't own. I think Shimano makes an 1132, but I'm pretty sure that the largest cassette that I have is an 1128. I may own an 1130, but I don't think so. And like on this trainer, I can set it up with a 10 tooth. With 12, I've got it set up right now with 12 cogs on my cassette. So there's a lot of things you can do to test, so that you don't have to go out, you know, and spend, I don't know, a cassette is what, $350 on 4 or 5 different cassettes to try them. You can try them in here, and if you say, yeah, I don't really need that big of a cog on my cassette, or man, that made a huge difference. Or again, trying different cassette and chainring combos. I'm not sure that I'm pretty sure that a 5230, if that's what I have, it would never physically work on a bike. Number one, you'd either have to size the chain for the 52 or size it for the 30. And if you size it for the 52, it would fall off on the 30. And if you size it for the 32, it just wouldn't fit on the 52. Even if you could figure out a way to make them both work, that's a huge jump in distance on the chain ring. And I'm not sure that if it would even catch, which I'm not sure it could, it would be really clunky and inefficient. And so, but the other option you have actually on this trainer, you can set up 3 chain rings, which I don't know if there's a road bike group set right now that 3x even fits. You know, the trend lately has been they're going to 1s. I don't know that I want the weight. The 2 that I have on there, I think right now I have a 50-34. Does that sound right? Just a standard compact. Standard compact? Yeah, just a standard compact gearing on the front. I have run, actually right now I may have the 5234 on there. I don't know, my bike's been hung up in the garage since October. I was actually just thinking about the fact that we don't have any warm days, but I need to clean my bike up. I need to pull the fork out, clean and re-grease that, check all the bearings, and maybe I'll take it into a shop. There's only one guy here in Cleveland that I would trust to actually do the work that I'm paying for, let alone do it correctly. So maybe I'll give Brian a call and see if he's got time to help me out. Sometime in the next couple of weeks, I'm not exactly sure when, I haven't really firmed up my plans, but I'm going to go down to Florida. I've got some work I need to do down there, plus I'll get to ride my bike if it's not too cold, and then I will yeah, then I'll actually go down to South Florida because I've got some work down there instead of Northern Florida for a couple days. So I'll get to ride in the mornings there. And then at the end of that week, and even if I don't go down to work, I'm going down to watch the Daytona 500. And then, well, I guess I'll break it here. So those ones of people that are watching this broadcast right now, you'll be the first to hear. I think I may ride the entire, or at the very least, I'm thinking that I'm going to ride the first 4 Gran Fondo National Series races. The first one is in March in San Antonio, Florida. The second one is in April in Helen, Georgia. And the third one is, so that's March, April. May, there isn't one. In June, in like Butler, New Jersey, I think it is. And then the fourth one is their national championship, which I had received an email saying that because of my results last year, I'm qualified for an entry into the national championships. Yeah, it's not just marketing spiel at all, is it? Anyhow, that one's in, I don't know, somewhere in North Carolina in July. And so I'm thinking that I could do the 4 of those. I think I had looked at the possibility of doing that last year. But like the one in New Jersey in June was the same time it overlapped or something with the training camp in Boulder. And I get a lot of benefit. Even if it's only mental, I'm not sure. But I really think that being out in Boulder for 10 days makes a huge impact on my whole summer season. So I haven't heard. I should talk to them and see if we're going to get together again and do that. Last year, you know, because of the COVID and whatnot, it was just the 3 of us who just got together and rode. So it wasn't casual. It was a casual, we're just, hey, let's all meet up in Boulder and get together and ride every day. But, you know, just like the real world, once you get up there and you're out on the road, yeah, there's nothing casual about it. Because there's nothing better than, you know, beating your friends, right? And when everybody has the same plan, everything ratchets up until somebody cracks. And, well, usually, last year I actually hung on most of the days. But then after that, I went, on my way home, I went and rode Tulsa Tough. I'm not sure I would do that again. I don't know, maybe. I literally have not thought about this next season at all. Like, zero thought into it. Because part of me is thinking that the less time that I spend out on the road and stay more focused on just following my training plans here, the stronger I'll get. But as I say that, the fallacy in that argument is, well, if you're only training indoors, what are you getting faster for? Like, if you're not going out and riding, if you're not doing any events or doing any races, then what's the point? I don't know. I am pretty sure that I'm not going to do the Licking Valley Century by the Cincinnati Cycling Club this year. It was a good event. It was a lot of fun. I benefited a lot from it, just in my nutrition prep, my execution on my overall plan or failure to execute, and learning or reinforcing more how to interact with a group that to my own advantage, right? If you want to hear all the details about that, go back a couple days in the videos. I talked about that last week. I don't know, Wednesday, I think. Either Wednesday or Friday, I'm not sure. I think Wednesday. But yeah, the only event that I know for sure that I'm doing is the Pan Ohio Hope Ride. And if you Google Pan Ohio Hope Ride and find the American Cancer Society Pan Ohio Hope Ride, it's a ride from Cleveland, OH, all the way down to Cincinnati. So we start on the shores of Lake Erie, we finish on the banks of the Ohio River. It's approximately 328 miles over 4 days. Last time I rode it, which was not last year, it was the year before, I don't know. The year before it was canceled. So 2 years ago, I took the option of adding miles every day so that every day was a century or a little bit more. So I rode a little bit more than 400 miles over the 400 days. And it benefits the American Cancer Society, but not like a typical donation or fundraiser does. This money specifically goes to pay the expenses of people who are currently undergoing cancer treatments. And so it handles their transportation to and from treatments. It handles their housing if they need to stay like in a hotel near the hospital. And basically takes care of, all of the logistics and all of the life things that you can't focus on when you're undergoing, that barbaric treatment to kill the cancer in your body. So it's a really good cause because all the money goes directly to help actual people right now. It's not the whole, we're going to use it to fund research, along with the, other multi-billion-dollar organizations who claim to constantly be doing research. I'm not bashing research at all, but I'm saying if you look at a lot of the way that those funds are spent on their, multi-million-dollar facilities and their multi-million-dollar payrolls, and then just the operations of whoever you're donating it to, the foundation itself, which are millions of dollars. A lot of the money they raise goes to the people who are raising the money, not to benefit people who are suffering with cancer. And the money from the Pan Ohio Hope Ride literally goes directly to people who need the financial assistance because they're undergoing treatment for cancer right now. So I ride with Team MCPC, and it's a fairly decent, pretty diverse group of cyclists from all over, from Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. There's some from Columbus and Dayton, and I don't know where, from Chicago. It's a fairly diverse group of cyclists' abilities, motivations, and obviously geography that are together on this team, sponsored by MCPC. So that we all, at least start the first day together, and then kind of break up into your own pace groups. Anyhow, but it's nice to be a part of a team. And so, if you're saying, "Wow, 400-mile days back to back, that sounds like an awesome challenge. I'd like to do that," I would strongly encourage you to sign up and join Team MCPC. It's free to join. They give you a free jersey for participating with the team. And you've got a support network around you as you're both training and when you get to the event itself. So I would encourage you to do that because it's worth it, because it's fun, and like I said, it's a really good cause. Usually, in normal times, the weekend before, so Pan Ohio starts on a Thursday, the Sunday before Pan Ohio is the Cleveland Clinic Velasano ride, which I've done multiple times. This past year, again, because of COVID, it wasn't all that well attended, but it was it's a fun ride. We ride out to, like, I don't remember what it's called, Burton, Ohio, or out that way. Pretty much almost out to the Pennsylvania border, out in Amish country and all that. And then back to downtown where we start. And it's a fun ride. It's definitely well put together. And the timing of it's great because it's like one last great workout, 100-mile ride before the Pan Ohio starts, right? So you ride that on Sunday, and then, you know, Monday, probably an off day, Tuesday, a relatively easy day, Wednesday, a little bit of a workout, and then Thursday, Pan Ohio starts. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it this year or not. Like I said, I really haven't put a whole lot of thought into any of these events and how they affect my training and my just fun riding overall. And I need to sit down and figure that out. But as I say that, I really don't want to sit down and figure it out. I don't know if my brain's just mush from all this training, or I just don't know. It's, you know, things are different now, where for the last few years, not, you know, COVID notwithstanding, the last few years, my motivation was to get out and literally, like my goal a couple years ago was to do 52 century rides, sportives, you know, races, charity rides, whatever, through the course of the year. And so literally be able to do one every single weekend. And I started shooting a video series about it, but really quickly I found out that it's not really logistically possible in like January and February. There's a couple of events in California or Arizona, there's a couple of events in Florida, but there's literally not one every week. And the ones that are there, it's like ride in California, then fly to Florida, ride in Florida, then go back to California, then go back to Florida, then go to Arizona, then back to Florida. And so just like logistically, for me, it would be better. It would have been more gooder if like the California rides were like back to back, and the Florida rides were back to back, and then the Arizona ride was, you know, either somewhere in between the two or on either end of them. But they don't make their schedules around me, the American mammal. Can you believe it? So I'm not going to ride a whole lot more. I'll probably go up to 13, but 104 average, 12.4 over 45 minutes, 0.9 slices of pie at only 269 kcal, and almost no TSS 18 of them. And so I do not plan on riding more than 110, and realistically less than, if I can stay focused, or if I even just look up at my power. I could also look here, but by the way, I'm trying to figure out a way to be able to share my tablet as like a secondary screen up there. So I'll like move the whole game screen over this way and then put the tablet screen up there. But I do not know, I haven't yet found a way to do that. But if you know of a way to share, to do a screen share on a live stream, the way that I'm sharing the game off of a different computer from the computer that's actually doing the streaming, I would like to do that on my tablet as well. So I've tried to use this software from Vimeo. It's called Live Stream Studio 6, and I tried loading, like doing the invitation and loading the web share thing, and it didn't work. So if you have any insights or any knowledge, even a different software that'll let me simulcast to multiple sources, but will let me share a tablet screen and multiple cameras and share a computer monitor, so that I can run the game, show you what's going on in the tablet, which really only matters if I'm like, I don't know. When I'm in the workouts on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the group rides, it's cool because I can share the chat box with you guys, and then you can see what's really going on in the ride, because sometimes it's pretty comical as everybody's using voice to text conversions on their iPads and tablets, and when you're huffing and puffing, it gets a lot of things wrong, and that's sometimes pretty comical. What's initially said and how people respond to what they know is a mistype from the computer. But yeah, I'd like to share that with you as well if I can figure it out. I just don't yet know how to do that. So if you have any insights at all into a software that'll let me do it, or how I can make it work with Live Stream Studio 6, or I also paid for, I think it's called Streamcaster, maybe, which is like an OBS. It's built on OBS, and it's now owned by the same company that owns this headset and my trackball and I don't know, everything else, I think. I don't remember the name of it right now. But I have not been able to, on either of those, figure out how to make the tablet share work. And just as importantly, once I get the tablet working, I also want to, down here on the screen, that's black area that's next to me, I want to stream comments from all these different sources, from YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Vimeo, or wherever else I might or might not simulcast these videos, so that when somebody types something, number one, everybody can see it. But number two, I can see it, I can read it, which right now I can't. I mean, I'd have to have like a different tablet open on each app, right? I could read it and I could comment live on the video. And so that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking to do. That's my ultimate goal, at least right now. That's my ultimate goal. But if you have any thoughts, if you have any experience, and you can offer some insight or some suggestions, or just tell me what to do, I'd really appreciate it. I also bought one of these Stream Deck appliances. It's plugged in, so I can't pick it up and show it to you because it's way over here off the camera. I haven't programmed that yet either, but I'm going to set that up because I have multiple cameras, and if you've watched the earlier videos, I've tried a bunch of different setups, how to like manually switch them and everything else. But from what I understand, I can program Stream Deck so that whatever software I'm using, I can switch the scenes to effectively change the camera angle, so that if I want this camera angle, or if I want to have one, you know, down here kind of looking up at me, that I wouldn't be able to shoot very often, but it's a different angle. It might be cool for, well, it would be cool for me to be able to see my form on the bike. I used to, before I had the green screen, had a camera behind me, and that was interesting to watch my form. You never get to see yourself from behind, right? I can put one at the side of me. I'd also love to figure out a rig so that I can actually put one up above me over here, kind of looking down, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to figure out. I mean, I know I could figure it out. There is a way to do anything that you want. I'm just not sure that I'm going to make it that far. But it would be really cool to have a camera up there looking down, kind of like a bird's eye view, like a drone following on top of you the entire time, right? So my plan is to set up this Stream Deck so that I can do all of I'll be able to switch the camera angles, and maybe if necessary I could set it up so that it would feed in different text chat boxes, but I think to do that I would literally have to cut the game screen from up above so that you wouldn't see the game when I switch to that screen, and you would just see that. So that might break up some of the, I don't know. I'm guessing everybody would rather watch my avatar than me. I mean, who really wants to look at a middle-aged, unkept man in Lycra? M-A-U-M-I-L. Meumo. But yeah, I'm trying to figure all that stuff out, and I would love some help, some recommendations, some suggestions from you. Because did that jersey just say Peaks? I think it did. Huh, interesting. They must be able to buy your way into ZWIFT now. I'm not gonna go up there and catch them to see, but I'm pretty sure that jersey said Peaks Coaching Group. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to catch them. Especially on a day when I'm not supposed to put any effort in. Oh, look, is this it? Is this that jersey? What does it say? It does. Huh. Interesting. I rode with a group from Peaks Coaching Group up in the Finger Lakes region, one of those farm to fork fondos, back 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now. It was an interesting event at the end, or before the end. A certain somebody said, your form is really good. You got a lot of strengths. We'd love to have you come and, use us for your coaching. And I was like, well, I already got a coach. Have you ever met? At which point he's like, backed way off. Oh. All right, so I am over 15 millios, which means that I am going to end my ride here, 56:41. So it'll be 57 minutes. 15.2 miles. Stepping on the brakes, you should be stopping. Literally brakes. I am braking. I've got the brakes all the way down. There we go. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the results of this here Riado. Where's my cursor? There it is. Alrighty. Yeah, no real effort, right? Right? That's my heart, that's my power. 98 average, so it actually went down. 15.3 miles. 57 and 13, 1.1 slices of pie, 23 TSS. What did it was before? 17. 321 kcal. I think it was 18. Now it's up to 23. So that's not too much of a departure. And the not quite 15 minutes is not too much of a departure. So I won't get in trouble or anything per se. But now I'm going to wipe down my bike. I'm going to take these pedals off. I'm going to put my new pedals on. I'm going to get something to eat. Then I'm going to take a shower, and I am going to go to a meeting. So thanks a lot for joining me. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we will be a little bit of a a little more difficult, challenging ride, I'm guessing. But I haven't looked at the training plan yet to know. But I know it's going to be more challenging than today. So thanks a lot for joining.